Are you experiencing certain symptoms that are concerning to you and you have a family history of type 2 diabetes and you're wondering, are you a diabetic as well? Well, in this video, we're going to discuss the top 5 symptoms that help you with the early detection and management of diabetes and insulin resistance. Before we jump in, who am I? My name is Igor. I'm the author of the Amazon best-selling book called Type 2 Diabetes Reversible Secrets. I run an online personal training company called Fitness Solutions Plus that specializes in helping type 2 diabetics reverse their diabetes. So let's jump in. High blood sugar, also known as hyperglycemia, is a condition characterized by elevated levels of glucose or sugar inside the bloodstream. It is commonly associated with diabetes, both type 1 and type 2, but can also occur in individuals that don't have type 2 diabetes, although insulin resistance is a step before type 2 diabetes, and often there is a progression from insulin resistance to type 2 diabetes. Recognizing the signs and symptoms of high blood sugar can help you with the early detection and implementation of lifestyle changes, as well as seeking proper medical attention. So what are 5 of the most common symptoms of diabetes? In no particular order. 1 is excessive thirst, also called polydipsia. Why would you have excessive thirst if you're diabetic or if you have high blood sugar levels? Because when you drink water, you start to dilute the sugar, thereby bringing your blood sugar down. And along with that, if you drink more water, you actually have the second symptom, which is called polyuria or excessive urination. How excessive is excessive? Either more than you're used to going or more frequently than once every 2 hours. Sometimes you have such high polyuria, it becomes something called nocturia, which is excessive urination at night. Usually when you go to bed, you should be able to sleep right through the night without waking up to go to the washroom. But if you have high blood sugar levels, the kidneys are filtering out a lot of the sugar out of the blood, hence causing you to urinate more often. So you end up having sweet urine, so it ends up going out of your body using the kidneys. But don't try tasting your urine to verify that it's actually sweet. Leave that for other people. The third sign of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes is fatigue and lethargy. Basically, you use glucose as a fuel source to give you energy. Energy, biochemically speaking, is a molecule called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. You need glucose in order to get inside the cells and power the cells. However, if you're insulin resistant, it's basically what's happening is glucose cannot get inside the cells. It's like you're sitting at home, somebody is ringing your doorbell, but you don't hear the doorbell. You're not going to let them in your home. Same thing happens with insulin resistance. If insulin binds to the receptors, then the receptors of whatever the cells are, whether it's muscle cells, fat cells, liver cells, heart cells, should open their doors and let the sugar out of the blood and inside the cell. But if it's not bringing the sugar inside the cell, then you're going to have low energy because you don't have the fuel source necessary to power the cell. Sign number 4, that is blurry vision. The lens of the eye is very sensitive to fluctuations in blood sugar, especially if it's consistently high, or even if there are wild fluctuations from low to high. The fluctuation from lowest to highest should be no more than about 2.5, 2.7 millimoles per liter. If it's greater than that, that creates problems. This condition is called hyperglycemia-induced myopia, or nearsightedness. The effect is typically temporary and can be reversed, usually by improving your blood sugar levels using whether that's medications or diet and lifestyle. And sign number 5 of elevated blood sugar levels or insulin resistance is slow wound healing. If you get a cut or if you cut yourself shaving, then what can happen is typically the skin heals pretty quickly. If you have high blood sugar or insulin resistance, skin heals a lot slower. And the reason for that is a process called glycation. Glycation is the binding of a sugar molecule to a protein molecule, and largely our body is made of protein. Sugar is sticky and protein is slippery. Imagine an oyster. It's almost pure protein and slippery. Imagine cotton candy. It's almost pure sugar and it's sticky. So when you have the binding of sticky to slippery, you get sticky. And that's why we can have slow wound healing time because of decreased blood flow to the skin as a result of high blood sugar levels. Now you have the top 5 symptoms of diabetes. Does that mean you have diabetes or you have insulin resistance? Well, that's where you need some more objective tools to confirm. A few tools that get the job done are things like regular glucometers or blood glucose meters. You can have continuous glucose monitoring that looks at your blood glucose levels all throughout the day and how they fluctuate and so on. That's where things really help to confirm or deny your self-diagnosis of diabetes. Again, don't diagnose yourself, get yourself tested. One of my favorite tests in order to detect diabetes early is a test called C-peptide. C-peptide is a measurement of fasting insulin. So you're wondering, why not measure fasting insulin? Because fasting insulin is not a stable marker in the blood, but C-peptide is a stable marker in the blood. And so what it looks at is insulin and not blood sugar. Why is that a good thing? It's a good thing because typically with insulin resistance, it precedes diabetes. So insulin resistance means you're releasing too much insulin and you might have good blood sugar levels. So high insulin precedes high blood sugar levels. High blood sugar levels only become high when the amount of insulin released is so high for so long that the body starts to ignore the message, hence insulin resistance. C-peptide detects diabetes early, so that's why I don't like to use the blood sugar test by itself. I like to use it in conjunction with C-peptide. Maybe you have high insulin and good blood sugar levels. That means you're in the early stages of diabetes or insulin resistance. If you have high C-peptide or insulin and high blood sugar levels, that means you're officially a diabetic. You've gone from insulin resistance to diabetes. Hence why the benefit of combining the C-peptide test along with fasting blood glucose or HbA1c. In one of my other videos, linked in the description below, I discussed the 5 most essential tests that you need to know for diabetes beyond the basic 2 of just fasting blood glucose and HbA1c. So let's say you discovered that you do have type 2 diabetes or you have insulin resistance, a step before type 2 diabetes. What can you do about it from a lifestyle perspective? Of course, there's dietary changes that you can make, and I talk about it extensively in other videos linked in the description below. You can exercise, and exercise for diabetes is different than exercise for toning or weight loss, etc. There needs to be specificity in exercise prescription, and there's a specific prescription for diabetes versus other forms of exercise. So very important to address that, and I do discuss that in other videos linked in the description below. Lastly, you can also consider stress management practices, whether that's going for a walk, meditating, do yoga, or any other form of stress management. When stress is high, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. What cortisol does is it raises your blood sugar. So does food, so do carbs. They also raise your blood sugar. And when blood sugar is high, insulin comes out to lower blood sugar. But what if cortisol is always high? Then it's always raising blood sugar, and insulin therefore is also always high because it's trying to lower blood sugar, but it can't because stress is always high. So those are the 3 practices that you want to address from a lifestyle perspective in order to help you manage type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance. In conclusion, high blood sugar is a common concern, especially for individuals with diabetes, but it can affect anyone. Recognizing the signs of elevated blood sugar, such as excessive thirst, frequent urination, fatigue, blurred vision, and slow wound healing, is vital for timely intervention and management. Monitoring your blood sugar levels and seeking guidance from healthcare professionals are essential steps in maintaining good health. By adopting a balanced lifestyle, including a healthy diet, regular exercise, and stress management practices, you can help prevent and manage high blood sugar, promoting overall well-being. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. It will help you learn when I publish more videos about using lifestyle interventions to reverse insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, and it will help other diabetics and people with insulin resistance learn when I learn about good information for those conditions. Thank you and goodbye.